Just a year ago, he was the laughingstock of football, mocked, ridiculed, and written off as one of the biggest flops in Premier League history. But today, he's shutting down his critics and proving why he was worth every penny. This is the incredible redemption story of Antony Matheus dos Santos, how the so-called biggest jokes in football just became a superstar again. The big break, a move to Ajax. In February 2020, Ajax secured the signing of Antony for €15 million, a move that would prove to be a pivotal moment in his career. Ajax, known for nurturing young talent and transforming them into world-class players, provided the perfect platform for Antony's growth. Under the watchful eye of Erik ten Hag, he found himself in an environment that allowed him to refine his raw talent and develop into a more complete player. This move was not just a transfer, it was a launchpad that would propel him toward European football's biggest stages, dominating the Eredivisie. At Ajax, Antony quickly made his presence felt with his electric playing style. His dribbling skills, combined with his flair and unpredictability, left defenders struggling to keep up. His quick footwork and ability to change direction in an instant made him a nightmare for opponents. One of his most recognizable traits was his signature move, cutting inside from the right wing onto his favored left foot and curling the ball into the top corner. It became a trademark finish, one that Eredivisie goalkeepers learned to fear. His pace and agility allowed him to glide past defenders with ease, making him a constant threat in one-on-one situations. Antony's impact was not just limited to domestic competitions. He played a crucial role in helping Ajax secure multiple league titles, but his performances in the UEFA Champions League were what truly put him on the map. Facing top European clubs, he demonstrated his ability to perform on the biggest stage, further raising his stock. It wasn't long before bigger clubs across Europe started taking notice, with Manchester United leading the race for his signature. The £85 million move to Manchester United. The summer of 2022 marked the beginning of a new chapter in Antony's career as Manchester United splashed a staggering £85 million to bring him to Old Trafford. The massive transfer fee made him one of the most expensive signings in Premier League history, and with that came enormous expectations. United fans hoped he would become the superstar winger they had been craving for years, someone who could finally add flair, creativity, and goals to their attack. There was also a sense of familiarity as he was reuniting with his former Ajax coach, Erik ten Hag, who had been appointed as United's manager. The belief was that under ten Hag's guidance, Antony would thrive in the Premier League and justify his hefty price tag. However, the road ahead was not as smooth as many had hoped. A dream start at United. Antony's arrival at Manchester United was met with immense excitement, and he wasted no time in making an impact. On his debut against Arsenal, he announced himself in style, scoring a beautiful goal by curling the ball past Aaron Ramsdale, instantly endearing himself to the United faithful. His early performances suggested that he was ready to take the Premier League by storm. Over the next few weeks, he continued to impress, scoring in 3 consecutive league games. His dazzling skills, quick feet, and ability to entertain made him a fan favorite. There was a growing sense of optimism that United had finally found their next great winger. Another promising aspect of his early United career was his chemistry with Erik ten Hag. Having worked together at Ajax, the two shared a strong understanding which was evident in the way Antony played. Everything pointed to him becoming a key player for the club, but football is a game of highs and lows, and soon the excitement surrounding him began to fade. The fall, criticism, jokes, and struggles. A predictable winger? As the season progressed, Antony's performances started to come under scrutiny. His weaknesses, which had been overlooked in the initial excitement, became glaringly obvious. The biggest criticism he faced was his predictability. Opponents quickly realized that he was overly reliant on his left foot and rarely attempted to use his right. Premier League defenders began to exploit this flaw, forcing him onto his weaker foot and nullifying his attacking threat. Without the element of surprise, Antony's effectiveness diminished. The move that had once been his greatest strength, cutting inside and curling a shot, was no longer working, as defenders had learned how to stop it. Lack of end product. Despite his technical skills, Antony struggled to make a consistent impact in the final third. While he could dazzle with his dribbling, his decision-making often let him down. His crossing lacked accuracy, his passing was inconsistent, and his goal-scoring output was far from what was expected from a winger signed for such a massive fee. Fans and analysts began to question whether he had the ability to perform at the highest level. In modern football, wingers are expected to contribute with goals and assists regularly, but Antony's numbers simply didn't justify his price tag. The pressure mounted and his struggles became more apparent with each passing game. Mockery and social media ridicule. Before long, Antony became the subject of widespread mockery. Social media was flooded with memes, and fans ridiculed him for his lack of end product. One of the most infamous moments came when he attempted his trademark spinning trick in a game, only to pass the ball out of play moments later. While his flair had once been seen as a strength, it now became a symbol of his struggles, flashy but ineffective. Pundits labeled him a one-trick pony, suggesting that he lacked the versatility needed to succeed in the Premier League. The criticism was relentless, and as his form dipped, so did his confidence. His struggles coincided with Manchester United's inconsistent performances as a team, making him an easy target for blame. Even Erik ten Hag, the man who had fought to bring him to United, found it difficult to justify keeping him in the starting lineup. The pressure of playing at a club like Manchester United, where expectations are sky high, seemed to weigh him down. Many began to wonder if his time at Old Trafford was already coming to an end. The road ahead. Despite the setbacks, Antony's story is far from over. Football is a game of redemption, and with the right mindset and determination, he has the opportunity to turn things around. The key for him will be adapting his game, improving his decision-making, and developing his weaker foot to become a more unpredictable attacker. Manchester United's investment in Antony was based on his potential, and while the journey has been rocky, there is still time for him to fulfill that promise. Whether he will rise to the challenge or fade away remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: football has seen many players go from being mocked to becoming legends. Antony's fate is still in his hands. How Antony proved everyone wrong. Improved decision-making. One of the biggest criticisms Antony faced was his lack of awareness and poor decision-making in the final third. He often held onto the ball too long, attempted unnecessary skills, or chose the wrong option when passing. However, he made a conscious effort to work on this weakness. With better vision and a more composed approach, Antony began varying his play, making smarter passes and being less predictable. Instead of relying solely on his dribbling, he started focusing on end product, whether it was delivering accurate crosses, playing key passes, or finishing chances with precision. This change made him a far bigger threat in attack and silenced many of his critics. Stronger mentality. Football is as much a mental battle as it is a physical one, and Antony's ability to overcome intense criticism played a crucial role in his resurgence. Being labeled a flop or the biggest joke in football can be mentally crushing, but Antony chose to use the negativity as fuel to improve. He surrounded himself with positive influences, including his teammates, coaches, and sports psychologists, who helped him develop resilience and self-belief. Rather than letting failures define him, he worked tirelessly to bounce back stronger. His mental toughness allowed him to stay focused on his goals, ignore the noise, and prove that he belonged among the best. Better right foot usage. One of the most frequent complaints about Antony's playing style was his heavy reliance on his left foot. Defenders began to anticipate his movements, making him predictable and easier to defend against. Understanding this flaw, Antony dedicated himself to improving his right foot, working on shooting, dribbling, and passing with both feet. This added unpredictability to his game, making it harder for defenders to shut him down. Instead of always cutting inside for a curling shot, he started going both ways, creating more space for himself and his teammates. This evolution in his game made him a more complete and dangerous winger. Increased defensive contribution. Modern football demands more from wingers than just attacking flair. Players need to contribute defensively, press high, and track back when needed. Initially, Antony was criticized for his lack of defensive work rate, but he made significant improvements in this area. He became more aggressive in pressing opponents, tracking back to help his fullbacks, and making crucial tackles. His defensive awareness and positioning also improved, allowing him to contribute more effectively when Manchester United was out of possession. This work ethic transformed him from a flashy winger into a well-rounded team player, earning the trust of his manager and teammates. Delivering in big matches. True superstars shine when the stakes are highest, and Antony finally started proving himself in crucial matches. Whether it was a heated Premier League clash, a high-pressure Champions League fixture, or an intense cup final, he stepped up when his team needed him the most. His ability to perform under pressure and deliver match-winning moments changed the perception around him. From scoring brilliant solo goals to providing vital assists, Antony became a difference maker in games that mattered most. This newfound consistency in big matches was a defining factor in his redemption story, solidifying his place as a key player for Manchester United. Antony's journey is proof that resilience, hard work, and belief can turn things around, no matter how bad it gets. From being labeled a flop to delivering game-changing performances, he's shown that real champions never back down. But what do you think? Will Antony continue his rise and become one of football's best? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more amazing football stories. See you in the next one.